what I'm drawing here at the moment, well, as you can hopefully see, is a classic old stone troll head. One of the old Michael Perry designs, which are really famous, and a lot of people remember them and really like them. I see a lot of people saying that they're some of their favourite model designs of all time, and you can understand why. So I'm just trying to do a pencil drawing of one of those classic head sculpts. What I'm doing at the moment is just sketching out a rough design, rough layout in pencil first, which I'm thinking can eventually be converted into a computer piece of vector art using Adobe Illustrator. So yeah, I've always got one of these kind of expressions on their face, you know, one eyebrow up higher than the other. There'll be drawings of these stone trolls elsewhere, but I'm needing one done for this purpose directly. You can't just copy someone else's or take it from somewhere else. You can't just scan someone else's work in. You have to make your own artwork. And the second eye is a bit more closed. The reason I'm doing this is because of a couple of comments that were made on the Crown of Command Discord channel, where Josh, the guy who runs it and has really kind of inspired a lot of other people to get involved in the hobby, and who posts his work on the Discord channel and elsewhere, had posted his completed unit of stone trolls, all 6 of these, which he did describe as a kind of life hobby goal achieved. And right enough it is. It's a lot of work doing that, getting them painted into the standard that he paints. Basically a reference standard. And I had commented back that there should really be some sort of award or badge for something like that. Just to recognise the effort that you've put in. Kind of like the achievements that you would get on the old Xbox 360. That used to be a really big thing, giving people a reason to plough all that time into the games. You would get some sort of achievement unlocked by completing various tasks. And it seemed to me that you could potentially do something similar with painting miniatures. You know, it's such a big task, there's so much work involved, and you don't tend to really get much for it, if anything, other than obviously the satisfaction for yourself in doing it. But wouldn't it be good if there was some sort of achievement system, something that you'd get a badge in some way that you would unlock upon completing such a thing? And I think that's a good idea, and it's something you could maybe build into a community system, just to give folk some sort of incentive or maybe a bit of a reward for doing all that work and completing a proper unit of something that can be measured. And yeah, so I'm having a go now at doing that and making some sort of little emblem. Now, this is probably an impossible task because of the amount of different achievements that you could have, all the different units. You know, if you were to be successful in completing a unit of 6 stone trolls, that's 1 badge. There's the 3 river trolls I'm thinking of, it would be a badge for that. But there's so many, I mean, there would be potentially hundreds and hundreds of achievements for different units you could complete. So I think in essence it's probably a bit of a unrealistic goal, and I probably shouldn't have said anything, but I thought it might be interesting just to mock up one example of what I'm talking about. You know, it's easy to suggest things and then do nothing. So put your pencil where your mouth is and try and make something. I do love these stone trolls, but everyone likes them, but they are awesome. I think I've got 3 or 4 of them. No, 3 of them, which would probably be enough for me. And I guess by my own metric means I won't get the badge if I ever paint them. I think you'd have to do all 6. That's the thing, how do you police it? How do you rate them? Who does that? Who maintains it? Who does all the admin? Who would create all these little badges or tokens or achievement icons? Who would do that? You know, it's too much. It's an unrealistic goal. Because it's time consuming to do this. For the purposes of a mock-up, you could probably just have found an equivalent image. But I kind of wanted just to be maybe black and white outline style. Maybe built into a coin or a emblem or a medallion type shape, perhaps. And you know, there's never anything out there that's exactly what you have in mind, so sometimes you're just as well doing it yourself. Of course, the earring as well. A lot of the stone trolls like their jewellery. Okay. I think that's about it for the basic setup sketch. Probably need a few extra lines here and there just to try and get that stony look. Little chips and things in the skin. But in essence, I think that would do it. Don't really have a plan at the moment. I'm just going with the flow and seeing what happens. Okay, I think that looks roughly like it. So I'm just looking for some inspiration on how these icons could potentially look, and going back to the classic Warhammer Quest, some of you will recognise these cards, but on many of them you get these nice little illustrations, and I can't help but feel that these square shapes would make pretty good, Xbox 360 achievement icons. I think being square is an advantage just in terms of the way they could be, stacked close together. I mean, I'd originally thought a coin shape or a medallion shape, but maybe the square is a better idea. And of course the artwork's amazing, and the design, they all have some sort of visual effect around the sketch. There's a few different types of that, which we could try and do something similar to around the head of whatever character or unit that's being depicted. But these are really nice shapes. And then of course there's maybe the best of all, the old HeroQuest illustrations, which in many cases are just 2-color, just black and white, and they're so effective. I also like the way the outline's done, just that hint of it being on an old scroll or parchment or whatever. I think that's a nice style to it. That look on the monster cards as well, the little outline, little shapes. I mean, it's really simple stuff, but it just helps give that look. And then these ones were coloured in. So there's a couple of things amongst these cards I think that are worth trying to mimic in some way. What I've done is just cut out a wee square shape, happens to be 6 by 6 centimetres. So I'm just going to use that to help position a box around this drawing. It's just an old trick that people use when drawing things to try and frame the subject, to get a better feel of how it looks. So something a bit like that. And I want that hand-drawn style of the outside edge. I think that would work good. And all your icons would have the same layout and the same framing. Okay. Now for a design style to kind of help emphasize the character's portrait there, I can do something like one of these. when you move to the computer to redraw this, it would be possible to change out these designs, swap them in and out. But I think I'll go with this one for a start, just to try it. It's like just little random shapes. The problem also with something like this is you don't really know what scale it's going to be viewed at, or how big it's going to look if it's on a screen, and so a lot of this might be of no use at all because it might not work visually. But this is just an experiment, just for the sake of seeing it through. Okay, something like that would do. I'm not sure it'll work very well, but nonetheless, it's in keeping with some of those classic old designs. Okay, so the next thing I would do with this is to make the line work more definite by taking one of these nice black pens and drawing on top of this. This is a 0.2 pen. And that might just be about right for this. I do have one here that's a brush type. Which you can kind of create different thicknesses as you go. What would be more suitable? So in the old HeroQuest cards, you can see that they use different points, different line widths to a degree. I don't know how big these drawings were when they were done, but there looks to be lines of different weights. So I might just be bold and go in with this brush pen and see what happens. Start drawing in some more definite lines. I think I quite like the way that the pen sort of changes width as you press. And I'll probably go back in with the smaller pen size. To pick out some finer lines. I think I would have preferred to have done this on some white card. This is just almost white copier paper. Doesn't quite have the same quality as a piece of white card. think it is nice in a drawing when the line widths change. It makes for a nice effect. This is the first time I've used this brush style. Okay, so now using the 0.2 pen. And that's just letting me get some finer lines. I think a stone troll should have a flawless complexion. I think there should be little lines and cracks and things. Just to help show that he's got that stony skin texture. And then these pens come in on much finer line weights. It's a 0.03 now. You'll notice in some of the old HeroQuest cards, there's a little bit of shading indicated with some finer line work. Some dots here and there. Just that kind of indication of a bit of texture and a bit of light and dark. But they're amazing designs. Again, not really knowing the scale or the final use for things like this, it's difficult to know exactly what detail is worth putting in and what's a waste of time, because if this is very small, you're not going to see anything, or it won't come out very well at least. But I do like the combination of different line weights in a drawing like this, and I would recommend, if you're having a go, to do that, just to see the difference that it makes. I have seen other drawings of these stone trolls. I mean, there's one on the front of the Orc and Goblin army book, I think. But those are often in full colour, ones I've seen. It's maybe nice to try one in a more limited palette. Okay, I think that would do it for the actual troll's face done in pen. I think now I'll go back to the brush pen and go around the outside shape. So I'm just drawing in these little shapes now with the pen also. I'm not sure if I like it. I could get rid of it in the next stage when using the computer, because I'm not sure if I like the effect, but it is kind of in keeping with some of those older cards. But we'll see what it looks like. So the last thing I'm doing now is just erasing the pencil lines. Okay, so that makes it look a bit more finished and official. I'm going to scan this in now and move to the computer. Okay, so I'm now in Photoshop after scanning in the drawing. So I'm just going to do a couple of things to this image to tidy it up and clarify it. We can crop it down a bit closer, and then we can rotate it around. To get it upright. Just going to use the edge of the document to get that kind of lined up roughly where I want it. In fact, I'll just crop that down a little bit more. And then there's kind of a mixture of a bit of noise and different colours and, well, different shades in here, so I'm just going to go at the levels tool and just bring that back. And you can crush the curve as much as you want, but I'm just trying to eliminate anything that's not white or black. Just do something like that. Okay, so that's tidied up. Okay, so I've now moved to Adobe Illustrator and I've imported the image, which is a JPEG, and we're now going to convert this to some vector artwork. So I'm going to have that image selected, then I'm going to go to the main menu, Object, Image Trace, Make, and then what that did there is it changed it to a vector line work drawing. Really easy to do, and now you can zoom in as much as you want, and I'm pretty happy just with the results that's given me straight away. Don't really need to do much to it. There are lots of settings that you can play with and experiment with if you want, but generally I've found that the default setting works pretty well. So the advantage of this is that I can put this up on its own layer. Some of this is not in your view right now, but it doesn't really matter. It's try not to treat this like a tutorial, it's more just letting you see my workflow. So I've put this black and white drawing up on its own layer. So I'll just select the icon, and what I want to do is go up to Object in the menu and then choose Expand and say OK. And you can see there that it's now divided this up into all its different constituent parts. Okay, so that's given us all these different shapes in here that can be coloured up. So going back to our old HeroQuest cards, we would want to fill in these various shapes. So I'm going to select their fills and then drag and drop some swatches into these. Now this might not be the most efficient way to do this. You could select multiple parts at the same time and do it that way. Other people might want to be more efficient with the way that they generated the different shapes and the icons and how they expanded it. But for the purposes of what I'm doing right now, I'm not really too fussed. I can just do it this way and live with it. I'm not selecting a fully black colour because those old HeroQuest cards aren't fully black when you look at them. So I want to kind of pick that out in that kind of just off black colour. I think I'd like to catch the rest of these outlines that are currently in black. So I select by same appearance and then give them all that just off grey or off black colour. Now stone troll colours tend to be blue, so let's just choose a suitable blue, or should we leave it in white? I think what we'll do is we'll have a couple of options. So we'll go fully just the black and white option, and then we'll do a coloured one for the actual stone troll just to see the difference. So I'm just going to start selecting some of these areas, try and catch them all. Okay, so that's the blue sections, and then the earring I guess has to be a gold colour surely. Their eyes tend to be red, depicted in red. And maybe the teeth could be off-white. There we go. So that's a couple of options there. You could go with the traditional, just the black and white version, or you could maybe colour it up. I think it would be useful also with an achievement icon like this to have a number on it, so in the case of the stone troll unit that Josh had painted, there were 6 stone trolls, those classic sculpts. So I would want to put in a number 6. The font for that is, the font I'm going to try and use is called Casablanca Antique Plain, which is the font used on Warhammer Quest cards. So I'm thinking somewhere in the corner, but you can't read it, so we would need maybe it needs to be inside a circle. I don't know, maybe something like that. Not sure. Once you've made these sorts of shapes, you know, you can do all sorts of other things with it. Just experimenting with putting in some lighter blue for the stone troll ears, which they tend to have. So I think that's enough for now. I think what this little drawing exercise has done, and hopefully shown that it's an awful lot of work in creating a whole set of specific achievement icons for the hobby. Not sure it's possible to go through them all and generate various icons. But anyway, it's been fun creating this. I think if anything I prefer the kind of old style HeroQuest looking one. Nice and simple in terms of presentation, and I think it looks quite effective. So for now anyway, thanks very much for watching.